It has happened time and time again. You're working on a song, you're producing a record, and the instruments are sounding amazing. They are sounding lush and full of life, and it's finally time for the most important part, and that is recording the vocals. So you plug in your mic, you get the takes down, and you realize these vocals do not sound inspiring at all. So you whip out the handy tricks. You've got the channel strips, you've got reverb, you've got delay, you try EQ, parallel compression, whatever it is, and these vocals are just not sounding cool compared to your instrumental. I know that's happened to you, it's definitely happened to me, but there's a mic company that is trying to solve this problem, and their approach to fixing this has honestly changed the way that I have thought about microphones moving forward. So in my hands, I have the Lauten Audio LA-220 and LA-320. And these two mics have truly shifted the way that I think about getting tones when it comes to recording vocals. So let's talk about it. Now, when Lauten Audio was developing these microphones, they had a realization. Microphone companies and preamp companies and interface companies are all trying to sell you on one thing, and that is transparent. We want the most transparent mic going through the most transparent preamps into the most transparent interface. Well, what is the problem with that? There's nothing in that signal flow to give your vocals character. If you think about all these classic recordings that we love, all of them were made on equipment that was full of character. We've got tube microphones, we've got mixing boards that have compression and EQ built in. We're recording to tape, which has built-in compression and high and low cuts, and these records sound amazing. We love them. So when did we decide transparent is what we're going for with our audio gear? I mean, think about it this way. If every guitar pedal company was just telling you that all of their pedals were transparent and they didn't affect the sound of your guitar, and then you bought an amp, and the point of that amp was to sound transparent, this would be your guitar tone. Nobody wants that, right? So Lauten Audio is tackling this problem head on by making mics with aggressive circuitry. They are not passive. They don't sound like nothing. It isn't like you're just singing into the computer. So when a microphone company makes a claim like that, obviously we need to figure out if they pass or fail. But the truest test of what Lauten Audio is saying is if I can plug in these mics, start writing, start recording, and just get inspired to create something quickly. So what I'm gonna do is hit up my friend Will, see if he's down to make a song with me in just a couple hours, and then we're gonna see if these mics really inspired us. Hey, well, yeah. You mind if I come by and test out these new mics? They're pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, no, sounds good. I'll be there in 10-15 minutes. Yeah, no, it won't be long. I'm gonna be out of there in like 3 hours. We're gonna do this quick. All right, sounds good. All right, we're in. I'm gonna head to the studio. I'll see you there. All right, so I got the mics packed up. I also threw in my favorite tracking headphones, and I also threw in this ukulele. It might be fun to try and throw it in on this track, so let's see what happens. You may not know this, but it is actually rude to show up to a recording session without coffee, so I'm gonna go get that, and then I'll head to Will's house. All right, beverages secured. Will wanted a matcha oat milk latte, so that's what I got him. And then I went decaf today, oat milk latte. Trying to cut back on caffeine, you know? So let's get to the studio. Delivery for Will?
You're early.
I'm 8 minutes early. I'll go get the stuff. Next up, we got the LA-220.
Large diaphragm.
These packages
FET
are cool.
Condenser. No, very cool. Black on black. Super cool. Kids will love them. Ooh, she pretty. Look at this big boy. Safety first. Little sock. They're very aesthetically pleasing. Very nice. Look at that.
All right, next up, we got the 320.
Double wide box.
Well, that's tube.
Tube condenser. It's nice. It's very sturdy. Everything has a really nice like matte finish. Love it.
Well, we've seen what they look like. Should we figure out how they
Let's see
sound?
what they sound like.
So if you're not familiar with tube microphones, basically you need this power supply because inside the mic there is a vacuum tube like you would have in a guitar amp, and it takes more power than what phantom power would give it. So that's why you need this box. It plugs into a regular outlet, and then it has a 5-pin cable that goes into the mic. So once we had the mics unboxed, got our first impressions out of the way, and ran cables to them, it was time to start working on the track. Of course, I went for an acoustic guitar because I think that is a great way to test a condenser mic. We used the 220 on the acoustic, and then for vocals, I wanted to let that tube condenser shine. So we got the 320 wired up, let the tube warm up, and then we started recording vocals.
Give me a sign, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right, held on too tight, am I okay? I'm off the wall, ignoring calls, put up a fight, are you alright? Is it too late? And all I need is somebody to calm my nerves, 'cause all I see is red when I'm with you. Picking up the pieces never felt so hard. So give me a sign, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right.
All right, we got the claps, we got the guitar, we got the vocals. Will, when do you think you're gonna have this mixed by? By the time I get home?
By the time you get home, it's gonna be mixed.
All right.
Send the compact disc your way.
So I'm gonna head back to the house and let you know what I thought of those mics. All right, so I am back at the studio, and I just want to give you a brief overview of what I thought about these mics after using them to create a song. So the LA-220, which we used on acoustic guitar, I thought performed really well. For the price, I think this is one of the best condenser mics that you can buy. It is a little more expensive than something like the Rode NT1A, which is one of the first mics I had, but I gotta say, I'm super impressed with it, and I would recommend this for anybody who's trying to get a better condenser mic, especially if you're starting with a budget mic. This is a great first step towards something a little more professional. Similar to the LA-220, the LA-320 also impressed me. I think for the money, you would struggle to find a tube microphone that sounds better than this. I mean, you're getting an amazing vintage sound, something that you can really push and really get creative with vocal sounds. So overall, I would definitely suggest these mics, and if you want to learn more about them, there is a link in the description to check them out. So if you ask me, buying these mics is definitely a solid choice, and I do not think you can go wrong with these Lauten audio mics. But if you want to avoid making gear purchasing mistakes, then this video over here is going to help you do that.